Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah.
From being the leader of the army, the general of the army. The messenger that Umar al-Khattab sent arrived during the Battle of Ajnadin. And there are two versions of the story, two riwayat. One says that the messenger arrived to Khalid al-Walid, gave him the letter saying that you're not the general anymore. It has to be Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah radiallahu anh. And Khalid al-Walid told the messenger that you stay in the tent and don't show this letter to anyone until the battle is finished. The other story says that the messenger went to Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah radiallahu anhu, showed him the letter, and it was Abu Ubaidah actually who told him, you stay in the tent, you don't show it to anyone until the battle is over. So we're really not fighting here over titles or fame. It doesn't matter who's gonna get the victory or score the goal. What matters is that as a team, we win, and then we'll figure it out after. And the Muslims won the battle. It was also a crushing victory under the leadership of Khalid al-Walid radiallahu anh. And after that, Khalid al-Walid, whether he stepped down or he was shown the letter, and he completely agreed to step down. And he was not the general of the Muslim army anymore. Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah radiallahu anhu became the supreme leader of the four armies. However, Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah himself was a big admirer of Khalid. So he appointed him as his assistant, and Khalid basically continued to lead just behind the scene, basically. The four armies, we're going to get now to the last battle, and we'll finish quickly about Khalid al-Walid. The four armies again broke off, which makes sense that each army will go and take a part of the area and try to conquer this land. So they broke off again. Hercules, who was the Byzantine Empire at that emperor at that time, who was in Antakya here, he actually during the Ajnadin, by the way, he was in Hems or Emesa from the English standpoint. And he went back to Antakya just because the Byzantines lost, and he wanted to go back a little bit and stay safe. He realized that so far, within a few years, the Byzantines has lost two, or actually did not win, two battles. Mu'tah, they were very prepared and still didn't win, and Ajnadid, they were very prepared and they lost. So he wanted to avoid a third battle that is big army to big army. He wanted to play it kind of a little different. When these four armies, they were separate again, he wanted to get his army somehow in between them. I really don't have actually a good map, but one army was here in Beirut, or close to Beirut, here. The other army was exactly in Hems, and this is where Abu Ubaidah and Khalid al-Walid radiallahu anhu were actually. And the third army was close to Damascus, and the fourth army was still in northern Palestine. So he felt, if I can get an army somewhere here in between, then I will prevent these four armies from regrouping again and forming a big army. So I can center my troops here and then take each one separately, alone. So because of that, he sent several small armies marching from different areas, not as a big army. He did not want the Muslims to feel like we're preparing again for a large battle. And the plan that these small ones were going to get together somewhere between Hems and Dimashq, between Emesa and Damascus here, and they will separate these four small armies from each other, so they will intercede. If any two small armies will try to get together to form a big one, they will stop them, they will fight each one alone and finish them. This was actually now what Khalid radiallahu anhu has done, what gained him the highest respect in his military career, actually. Because when these small armies started to march from different areas, he told Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah radiallahu anhu, they were here in Homs, he told them, let's meet with all the leaders and discuss what should we do. They all came and they had a meeting, and Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu suggested something really crazy. He said, we're going to withdraw. Where? All the way to Al-Yarmouk. So the 6 months that they've spent advancing in Syria is going to waste it completely. And they're going to go back all the way from middle Syria to South Syria, North Jordan actually, if you imagine the maps. They will give up the land that they conquered completely. And what's the point? He completely understood the plan. He said, we have to regroup. If we regroup somewhere here, they're already very close to us. If they're going to fight us, we have large land here that is not ours. They can always raise an army behind us and trap us. If we're going to fight them again, we're going to go back close to Arabia. So if we lose, we go back to the desert and we're still safe. They're not going to follow us. So he wanted to cover his back. So the Muslim armies, they withdrew again all the way back to Al-Yarmouk. And this basically ruined the whole plan that the Byzantines had. So he completely understood it. He went back all the way to almost here, Al-Yarmouk. And this was basically, and I would say it's exactly here. It's close to Busra. So that's the place. And there was the Battle of Al-Yarmouk. And in this battle, that lasted 6 days again, the estimate, the Muslim army was about 40,000 and the Byzantine army was about 120 to 150,000. It was, basically their last attempt to, they had to finish this, and the victory was crushing. The estimate is that the Byzantine army lost about 50 to 60% of their soldiers in this battle. It was a crushing defeat that basically the Muslims, again went back and conquered all of Syria, and they got actually into Turkey and they got close to Constantinople with very little resistance beyond that, because the Byzantines could not raise an army again, a real army to stop them. Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid himself, he arrived to Turkey. He conquered some cities in Turkey, and actually after Al-Yarmouk, I really want to mention that there's a famous saying that Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he received the news of the Muslim victory, because actually in Al-Yarmouk, Khalid ibn al-Walid was not the general. However, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, he told him, you lead this battle. This is not mine, this is yours. So he led the battle, despite the fact that Umar al-Khattab has already said that you're not the supreme leader. And when the news came to Umar al-Khattab, he said, رحم الله أبا بكر لقد كان أعلم أخبر بالرجال مني. May Allah have mercy on Abu Bakr, he knew men better than me. Because Abu Bakr had a lot of trust in Khalid ibn al-Walid. Khalid ibn al-Walid's life ended in Hamas. Khalid ibn al-Walid, at that time, he was kind of the governor of Homs temporarily. He was not planning on quitting his military career, but he got ill and he died. And his death on his bed was his tragedy, the only tragedy that he had to go through in his life. He said the famous saying, لَقَدْ شَهِدْتُ كَذَا وَكَذَا زَحْفًا. I've been in so many, this and that number of battles, and there is no piece of my body that does not have a scar from a sword or an arrow. And here I am, I'm dying on my bed, like animals die. So may the eyes of the coward never find sleep. This is the translation of what he said. And Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid who died in Homs, and his grave is in Homs, is well known. There's a mosque there. Just to mention one more thing in case, because some people will raise, and I've read it a few times that, there's been issues between Umar ibn al-Khattab and Khalid ibn al-Walid. This is very not true, because Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, whatever he had as, properties or possessions, which was very little, he gave it to Umar ibn al-Khattab himself radiallahu anhu to take it after his death. Some people, it is really interesting that he died not as a martyr, not as a shaheed in a battle, although he has done so much. Some people would explain that, and it's kind of nice. Allahu A'lam, it's only Allah knows with the wisdom. But some people would say that he is the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sword will not be defeated or killed by anyone. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who leashes, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will put it down. So this is kind of very brief, few points about the life of Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid radiallahu anhu.
جزاك الله خير. جزاك الله خير. Takbir. Because he's leaving or because his speech? Sayyidina Khalid or Spider-Man? Spider-Man?
No.
Yusuf?
No, if Aiden was here, he was like that.
Sayyidina Khalid or Spider-Man?
No.
Huh?
I can't say the name right.
Sayyidina Khalid, right? Takbir for Yusuf. Do you love him?
Yes.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gather you with him in Jannah, inshallah. Ameen. What we should learn from Sayyidina Khalid al-Walid? What we should learn from Sayyidina Khalid al-Walid? Our kids, our youth, our sisters, our brothers. What we should learn from Sayyidina Khalid al-Walid. If I didn't hear the lessons, we'll repeat it again. Ashraf?
Courage. Courage.
MashaAllah. Muhammad?
Put your trust in Allah.
Allahu Akbar. Put your trust in Allah. Muhammad al-Ghawi?
Bravery.
Bravery. Shaja'a. MashaAllah. Mubin?
Use your brain.
Use your brain. MashaAllah. Nobody? Dr. Muslim? What we should learn? Dr. Muslim?
It's a compliment.
Next time to come early, please.
The cause is much bigger than title.
Allah yafta alayk, MashaAllah. Who else? Aisha? Never give up, MashaAllah. Takbir. Allahu Akbar. Amina? You should feed her more biryani, doctor. Come here.
I don't know what she's saying. Love.
For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Takbir. Dr. Mumtaz, give her $100. Please. If he didn't give you $100 tomorrow, tell me on Monday. Yes. Fatima, what we should learn from Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid? What we should learn from Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid? Guys, Dr. Naufal. Unity. Allahu Akbar. Takbir. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, I remember when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came back from Ta'if, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the angel of the mountains to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the angel of the mountain told the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I can destroy the mountain on them. لئن شئت أن أطبق عليهم الأخشبين لفعلت. What Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said? بل أرجو الله أن يخرج من أصلابهم من يعبده لا يشرك به شيئا. I wish Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send out from them the one who will worship him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent out from Al-Walid, the father of Khalid al-Walid, Sayyidina Khalid. And from the head of Kufr, who? Abu Jahl. Sayyidina who? Sayyidina Ikrimah, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the dua of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inshallah, we'll listen to the nasheed from Abrar, inshallah. أن تدخلني رب الجنة هذا أقصى ما أتمنى. Where is Abrar?
الجنة هذا أقصى ما أتمنى وتهب للدرجات العليا يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا ذا المنة يا ربي لا حول ولا قوة إلا بك يا ذا القوة يا مولى اصرف وابعد عني الظل يا ذا المنة يا ربي أن تدخلني رب الجنة هذا أقصى ما أتمنى وتهب للدرجات العليا يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا لهنائي حين ألاقي في الجنة صحبي ورفاقي فرحين بنعم الخلاق يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا ذا المنة يا ربي أن تدخلني رب الجنة هذا أقصى ما أتمنى وتهب للدرجات العليا يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا ذا المنة يا ربي وإذا مت إلهي جعلني في قبري نورا واحشرني مع خير الرسل يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا ذا المنة يا ربي أن تدخلني رب الجنة هذا أقصى ما أتمنى وتهب للدرجات العليا يا ذا المنة يا ربي يا ذا المنة يا ربي
تكبير تكبير
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
جزاكم الله خيرا. The brothers, can you move forward please? Ali, brother Najat, Dr. Mustafa, brother Zahur, brother Abdul Qadir, can you move forward please? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to remember him before the sunrise and the sunset. Bukratan wa asila. Inshallah, we'll say together Adhkar al-Masa, inshallah. Adhkar al-Masa. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم
ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي، فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها، والله سميع عليم. الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور، والذين كفروا أولياؤهم الطاغوت يخرجونهم من النور إلى الظلمات، أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض، وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء، والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله، وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها، لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله والحمد لله لا شريك له، لا إله إلا هو وإليه المصير. أمسينا على فطرة الإسلام وكلمات الإخلاص وعلى دين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى ملة أبينا إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. اللهم إني أمسيت منك في نعمة وعافية وستر، فاتم علي نعمتك وعافيتك وسترك في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما أمسى بي من نعمة أو بأحد من خلقك فمنك وحدك لا شريك لك، فلك الحمد ولك الشكر. يا ربي لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. سبحان الله وبحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيئا نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الهم والحزن وأعوذ بك من العجز والكسل وأعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل وأعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. اللهم عافني في بدني. اللهم عافني في سمعي. اللهم عافني في بصري. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الكفر والفقر وأعوذ بك من عذاب القبر. لا إله إلا أنت. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت. خلقتني وأنا عبدك وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت. أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت. أبوء لك بنعمتك علي وأبوء بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. اللهم صل على عبدك ونبيك محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا عدد ما أحاط به علمك وخط به قلمك وأحصاه كتابك. وارض اللهم عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن الصحابة أجمعين وعن التابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب. اللهم إن هذا إقبال ليلك وإدبار نهارك وأصوات دعاتك فاغفر لنا. اللهم إن هذا إقبال ليلك وإدبار نهارك وأصوات دعاتك فاغفر لنا. اللهم إنك تعلم أن هذه القلوب قد اجتمعت على محبتك والتقت على طاعتك وتوحدت على دعوتك وتعاهدت على نصرة شريعتك، فوثق اللهم رابطتها وأدم ودها واهدها سبلها واملأها بنورك الذي لا يخبو، واشرح صدورها بفيض الإيمان بك وجميل التوكل عليك، وأحيها بمعرفتك وأمتها على الشهادة في سبيلك، إنك نعم المولى ونعم النصير. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. أيها الإخوة الأحباب، أيتها الأخوات الفضيات، طبتم وطاب ممشاكم وتبوأتم من الجنة منزلا، والله أسأل أن يجعل هذا الوقت في ميزان حسناتنا يوم القيامة. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يبارك في هذا الجمع الطيب المبارك. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يستعملنا دائما لنصرة دينه. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يبارك لنا في إخواننا وأخواتنا إن شاء الله. We'll start with the Quran. We'll start our program inshallah with the Quran. Our students from the Quran school inshallah, they will recite some ayat inshallah from the Quran. We'll start with Ashraf inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون؟ كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. إن الله يحب الذين يقاتلون في سبيله صفا كأنهم بنيان مرصوص. وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم لما تؤذونني وقد تعلمون أني رسول الله إليكم فلما زاغوا أزاغ الله قلوبهم والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. وإذ قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة ومبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد. فلما جاءهم بالبينات قالوا هذا سحر مبين. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا وهو يدعى إلى الإسلام والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره ولو كره الكافرون. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا هل أدلكم على تجارة تنجيكم من عذاب أليم تؤمنون بالله ورسوله وتجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالكم وأنفسكم ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون يغفر لكم ذنوبكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ومساكن طيبة في جنات عدن ذلك هو الفوز العظيم وأخرى تحبونها نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله كما قال عيسى ابن مريم للحواريين من أنصاري إلى الله قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله فآمنت طائفة من بني إسرائيل وكفرت طائفة فأيدنا الذين آمنوا على عدوهم فأصبحوا ظاهرين.
تكبير تكبير ما شاء الله. شكرا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي هجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك صوت عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيعذبه الله فيومئذ لا يعذبه فيعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي.
ما شاء الله. تكبير. ما شاء Allah. Chef Rayer, he finished the Quran reading and he almost memorized from Surah والسماء ذات البروج until Surah An-Nas. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the Quran easy for him. He is the first one to finish the Quran reading in the Quran Academy. Abdullah will be the last one inshallah. Big takbir for Abdullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما خلا وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث.
تكبير.
جزاك الله خيرا. جزاكم الله خيرا. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our kids from the people of the Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them from the people of the Quran. As you know, Dr. Bassel is leaving, right? right? You know, he's leaving, inshallah. We ask we are trying to get more barakah, more knowledge as we can before he move, inshallah. Today, inshallah, he will talk to us about Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid, Sayfullah al-Maslul, and Al-Qaid Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi, Sayyidina Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi. And we want to focus, we want to learn what the Sayyidina Khalid did for Islam, what Sayyidina Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi did for Islam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit us from his knowledge, inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Well, thank you very much. And just like what the Sheikh said, I was asked, to talk in this seminar, and I told the Sheikh, look, I mean, this is tough for me. I need some topic that has nothing to do with fatwa or with ahkam, because that's really not my field. So we came up with this. It's just that history is something that is dear to my heart, and I'm sure a lot of people like it. Some people just don't like history, period, and there's nothing wrong about it. But knowing some of our history is really critical, actually. They say that the nation that doesn't have history will not have a future. Now, again, it's just a saying, but in fact, actually, even in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us so many stories from the past nations. Well, in a sense, that's kind of history. The point is not just knowing for the sake of knowledge that this happened and that happened, but it's more kind of getting the lessons from that, because as they say, history repeats itself. And this is a very correct statement, actually, simply because we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this life based on rules and laws. And when something happened in the past and a consequence came out of that, then we can predict that if we do that same thing, then the same consequence will happen again, or the same result will happen. So we'll start. We picked a couple people today, inshallah. We'll talk about them very quickly, very briefly, actually, and just for the sake of time. The two people are legends in Islam from the military standpoint. Now, I want to emphasize that the heroes or legends in Islam are not just generals or leaders or people who fought wars, although those are the people that we commonly talk about. There's been great scientists, great physicians, great people in every field. But we just picked these two simply because each one of them has been or led a battle in their life that is still until now considered one of the top 100 most decisive battles in history of humanity. Khalid ibn al-Walid related to the Battle of Yarmouk, and this classification is not Muslim classification. This is, you can read it in many Western resources. The Battle of Yarmouk for Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, and the Battle of Hattin for Sayyidina Salah al-Din Ayyubi. So we're going to talk a little bit about them and briefly about some of the interesting things that they've done in their life. I don't have a lot of slides or anything. This is just a map. I really think it's useful to understand that when Islam started, when Rasulullah ﷺ was born, this is how the map of the world looked like back then. There was no Russia or Britain, Great Britain or United States of America back then. The two superpowers were the Persian Empire and the Byzantine Empire, and of course the Roman Empire and the rest of Europe. And what's in green down here is simply Arabia, which is nothing but a desert. Obviously they didn't know there was a lot of oil back then, so they left them alone. But there was not much in there, and that's where Islam started. And Mecca, right here, is where Rasulullah ﷺ was born, and Islam originated from there. Rasulullah ﷺ faced a lot of resistance, a lot of persecution. One of the people who was a big enemy to Islam, his name was Khalid ibn al-Walid. His father was al-Walid ibn al-Mughira. And his brother was al-Walid ibn al-Walid ibn al-Mughira. And this family, just because they were from the elite of Quraysh, they were big time against the new message that will call for equality and call for justice. And Khalid ibn al-Walid, he was one of the few people in Quraysh actually who learned how to read and write, just because he was from the higher top social economic society over there. He was trained very well from military standpoint, riding horse, archery, all these kind of things. He was very talented. When Islam started, he was a big opponent to Islam and Muslims. Although we really don't have a lot of things in history to tell us if he really participated in the persecution or not of Muslims. Rasul ﷺ moved to Medina, and Khalid ibn al-Walid was in Mecca. The first battle that happened between the Muslims and the Quraysh, Ma'arak Badr, it was kind of unexpected battle. And there is big debate whether Khalid ibn al-Walid even participated in it or not. But then the second battle between the Muslims and the Meccans, Quraysh, Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, we know that he had the upper hand in the battle when the Muslims started the battle winning, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him victory, and Quraysh retreated basically, except for the right wing, which was led by Khalid ibn al-Walid, who waited for the Muslim archers to come down from the mountain of Uhud, looking for the spoils, because they want to make sure that they will get a share from it, not just the Muslims who were fighting in the battlefield. So when they focused on the dunya, just a little bit, a touch, focused on the dunya, after finishing a battle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to teach the Muslims a lesson that your focus is always on al-akhirah. And the lesson came on the hands of Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, who basically led his cavalry and turned around the mountain completely and surprised the Muslim army from the back. And that was the defeat for the Muslims on his hand. So eventually with this, Khalid ibn al-Walid, after he became a Muslim, he never lost a single battle that he led. And when he was a mushrik, he was a general who won Uhud. So the only battle that is controversial is the third battle, Al-Khandaq, the battle of the trench, because there was no fighting. The Quraysh retreated and Khalid ibn al-Walid was with them. Apart from this one, he really never lost a battle in his life. And that puts him only with Alexander the Great as the two people that you can claim that in history of mankind that they never lost a single battle in their career. So after the Battle of the Trench, after the Battle of Khandaq, a year after, the Muslims decided to go and visit Mecca for Umrah. And this was the first time that Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid got a close look to how Muslims live, basically. He was assigned a mission from Quraysh that he will take some of the cavalries and go and try to provoke the Muslims. And if the Muslims respond violently, because the Muslims came as pilgrims and they were very peaceful, and it was a tradition in all of Arabia that these people, no one can touch them, even if they were enemies. So Quraysh did not want, it was very big, embarrassment for them if they will try to kill them, but they wanted to provoke them, so hopefully they respond violently, and then that would be an excuse for them to wipe them out, especially that the Muslims were unarmed in that journey. And the mission was assigned to Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu. He tried and tried and tried, and the Muslims did not get provoked. They followed orders. As a military person, he was very impressed with that. From a general standpoint, he was really impressed. How can you have all these people listen to the order of their prophet or their leader who says, don't respond, they don't respond, even with everything he tried. So he was really impressed with that, and he watched them closely. They left after the truce, and they came back next year to do Umrah, and they stayed 3 days in Mecca, the Muslims, and Khalid bin Walid was observing all of that. Eventually, he decided that, this is the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened his heart to Islam, so he traveled to Medina, and on his way, actually, he met his friend, Amr ibn al-As, radiallahu anhu, and they both went to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they declared Islam. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, لَقَدْ عَلِمْتُ أَنَّ لَكَ عَقْلًا رَجَوْتُ أَنْ لَا يُسْلِمَكَ إِلَّا إِلَى خَيْرٍ. I have known that you have you have cleverness, you're a smart person, and I was hoping that you will eventually reach the truth, or what's good. So he had faith in him, he had hope in him that one day he will change and he will realize the truth. Khalid bin Walid, as we mentioned once before, that he asked Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make istighfar for him, and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, well, al-Islamu yajubu ma qabla. It's a new start. Once you become Muslim, everything before is deleted. We're starting, still Khalid bin Walid said, ala dhalika ya Rasulullah. Despite that, I really want you to make istighfar, which a lot of the Muslim scholars will point to. It looks clearly that for Khalid bin Walid, his past laid really heavily on him. That he really has done a lot to the Muslims in Uhud. So he became a Muslim. He was a very regular soldier, despite his high position when he was a kafir in Quraysh. Now he's a Muslim. He's just a very new Muslim. It doesn't matter. He's not expecting that he has to be appointed right away the leader of the army or get a big title. He's just a Muslim like anyone else. He got his opportunity in the Battle of Mu'tah, and this is the one that we're going to spend a little time about because it has a huge lesson. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent an army of 3,000 Muslims to the borders of the Byzantines, actually, which is somewhere here. It's not even in Petra, it's a little north to that. These areas were inhabited by Arabic tribes, but those tribes were allied to the Byzantines, actually. And those tribes, they broke a truce with the Muslims, with some of the Muslim tribes close to them. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent an army to them to fight. He was not expecting that the Byzantines, which is the superpower, will get involved in this battle. But what happened is that when the Muslims arrived, they faced an army. Again, the estimates vary, and we want to make sure that we don't, exaggerate or inflate the numbers. Some resources will say there were 120,000, soldiers. That sounds a little bit kind of, inflation. It would be hard back then to gather such an army. But most likely the army was anywhere between 40 to 60,000, facing 3,000. So that was a complete shock to the Muslims. They have never seen something like this. And they debated, should we fight or not? The three leaders that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam appointed, they decided that because he appointed three leaders, the first, the second, the third, if someone dies, then you go to the second one. They decided we're going to fight. We marched all this way, we're not coward, we're going to fight, and we'll see what happens. The battle started, it lasted 5 days, which is remarkable, 3,000 people. And a lot of these actually are from, not just from Islamic resources, from Western resources. I guarantee you those information are perfectly verified. After 5 days of fighting, the three leaders has died, the three Muslim leaders. The third one died on the 5th day. And now they have no appointed leader. One of the Muslims picked the flag and went to Khalid bin Walid, radiallahu anhu, gave it to him, and he said, you're going to be our leader. He's famous, he's from Quraysh, he was like a well-known person. And Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, initially he refused, but then he accepted because there is no one else qualified other than him. This is the lesson here. Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, his decision was to retreat. And that was kind of, it's a tough. Now you're appointed for the first time to be the general, the leader. You have to do a big achievement, right? I mean, you have to do something, prove yourself. And instead you say, let's go back. But for Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, he had strategic thinking that we've achieved what we want. 5 days of fighting, they could not defeat us. We've shown them who we are. More than that will just destroy us. There is no point of keep being engaged in this battle. Now the retreat itself is not going to be easy for these 3,000 to run away from such a big army. What he did was remarkable. The plan was completely nothing but psychological war, and that's how Khalid bin Walid withdrew. He basically, on the night after the 5th day, because the two armies will rest at night, he did not allow any of the soldiers to sleep, actually. They all had to wash their clothes to make it as clean as possible. And the right wing went to the left wing went to the right wing. The people who fought in the back rows, they went to the front, and the front went to the back. Most of the cavalries were taken away from the army. He'd sent them behind some hills, sand hills. They tied some chains to the horses' legs, and they waited until dawn. And when dawn was starting, all the army had to start, with huge takbir and celebrations. And those soldiers, those horses in the back, far away in the horizon, had to run in very small circles to create a lot of dust, just to give the impression to the Romans or the Byzantine army that reinforcement has arrived. And the Muslims are very happy and excited. When sun rises, their armies are ready to fight. They're seeing new soldiers, new faces. They've been fighting for 5 days, every side, they start to kind of know each other almost. And now you see totally new faces, people who are not, dirty all over and what you expect. So they really bought it that this is reinforcement. We've been fighting for 5 days, we couldn't, get them, and now they're now a bigger number, rested soldiers. And he started the 6th day by an attack, which the Muslims did not do in the last 5 days. So that all gave the Byzantines the impression that, this is getting serious now. These people are, and within a couple hours he retreated, ordered retreat. And in fact, the retreat itself was really remarkable. The heart went first, and so he did a lot of surprises. So the Byzantine leaders were very convinced that this was all tactical and it's a trick, and they should not follow them, because this is trick and those people will stop soon and they will come back. But in fact, it was not a trick. He did all of that just so he can escape. And the Muslims, went south. It took the Byzantines, probably half day before they decided that they were tricked, actually. And the Muslims really escaped the battle. They went back to Mecca. They were met by the Muslims, who were very disappointed from Khalid's decision. The Muslims went out to the outskirts to Medina, and saying, Ya Furrar, farartum fi sabilillah, oh you cowards, you ran away fi sabilillah, instead of you fought fi sabilillah, you ran away. This is, a scandal here. And the Rasul ﷺ, on that occasion, he went to meet Khalid bin Walid, and he told him, Anta sayfun min siyufillah sallahu Allahu ala al-mushrikeen. You are a sword of Allah's swords that Allah has leashed against the kuffar. He got the title on the only battle that he retreated from, actually. Subhanallah. It is not, we don't need to be blind in what we're doing. We really need to have wisdom. And that what tells you the difference between someone who's qualified and someone who really doesn't know what they're doing. The good qualification gave him wisdom in his decision, and he decided to retreat, and he was met by praise from Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Later on, there is a lot of issues. He participated significantly in the battles of Ridda, when the rest of Arabia after Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam died, a lot of the Arab tribes, they turned back to kufr. Some of them, they did not reject Islam completely, but they started cherry picking, basically. We do this, but we don't do that. We pray, but we don't pay zakah. We fast Ramadan, but we're not pray. So everyone started to come up with their own, method and own way. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the Khalifa, he clearly made it clear that this is unacceptable. Islam is only one version, and everyone has to follow that. So he used a lot of the soldiers and or leaders, and one of them was Khalid al-Walid, who had the most participation in fighting those tribes who turned back from Islam, and they stopped or they declared war against the Muslims in Mecca and in Medina. We're going to skip that and start to go to up to where actually the Ridda battles led Sayyidina Khalid from Medina to somewhere in the eastern part of Arabia. This is where basically where he ended, and he was very close to the Persian Empire. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, who relied heavily on Khalid ibn al-Walid, he asked him to test. That's what he told him in the message. I want you to go to their land and test them. Just see how they're going to respond. So Khalid ibn al-Walid marched with his army on the east coast, or the coast of the Persian Gulf or Arabic Gulf, went up to close to the Euphrates, al-Furat. And there was a very important city back then. It's called Ubulla. And there was a major battle over there. And for that battle, if you give me a second, I want to try to pull a very nice, actually, that battle is talking about a lot if you read in history. It's a very, very interesting thing that Sayyidina Khalid ibn Walid has done. This is just a magnified kind of, of the area. The city of Ubulla was here, and Khalid ibn Walid was marching this way from what is now basically Kuwait. The Persian army was very big, but the Persians, as a superpower, they were well known to be very heavily armed, very heavily armed. They had, of course, elephants and stuff, but there was no elephants actually in that there was no high-tech weaponry in that battle specifically, but they were very heavily armed and armors and stuff. Muslims didn't have any of that. They were just light soldiers. So how would you defeat? This is the first time Muslims will encounter how the Persian army fight. Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anhu wanted to rely on whatever means he has, and the only advantage that he felt in his army was the fact that they're light. They're light. They just have their robe and their sword, and that's it. There's really not much. I mean, they barely have shields or something. So he wanted to take advantage of this. The Persian army was centered here. Khalid ibn al-Walid stopped at Kazima, stopped here, and he camped there for almost a week. He would not march. It was clear that he was, going to Ubulla. So the Persians, well, this is a small army, and they are new. We're going to just teach them a lesson. So they came out from Ubulla toward him. They marched all the way, which is about roughly, 2 to 3 days walking. When they get close to him, he took his army and he went all the way the other route. And of course, the Muslims, they can move much faster because they're light, even their infantry, they can walk faster. It sounded kind of for the Persians very dumb that, we left the city, we came out here, and now they're turning away from us, bypassing us, going to the city. So they rushed very quickly, trying to cut his route and meet him here. When they got close to the city, he was a little bit before, so he took his army and went back to Kazima. This is reported very well in history. So now the Persians had one of two choices. Either they stay here, they're exhausted. They've been walking literally for 5 days non-stop. Or they have to go back again and meet him there. If they stay here, well, he's playing chess, basically, literally. If they stay there, then he's going to go to Ubullah. The route is open. If they come, then they're going to have another 2 days of walking, and soldiers are exhausted, and they haven't even started the battle. Now, it's not that the Muslim soldiers are not exhausted, but they're much lighter. They're just walking, holding a sword, and that's it. So they decided to come back. Their leader felt that this is suicidal, so he realized something's going to go wrong. He was afraid his soldiers would be very scared and defeated easily. So he decided, again, some dumb decision, he decided to chain all of them together. And that's why the battle was called Ma'rakat Dhat al-Salasil, the battle of chains, because the Persian soldiers probably they'll start to run away, from the first day of the fighting. His idea was, if we chain them together, it will make it hard for the Muslim, soldiers to penetrate. But on the other hand, if they do penetrate, then the army is going to be wiped out, because how can someone run away if I'm chained to other people? The result was devastating for the Persian army. The battle took 2 days only, and they were destroyed severely. So this was his strategy, basically, to win that battle, which was the first battle that he fought with the Persians. After that, Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid, he started to take a route mostly across the Euphrates, across that river, which is kind of just on the periphery of the Persian Empire. He really didn't want to go deep, because he realized that his army is not big enough to conquer land. He just wanted to drain them. And he fought about 25 battles within less than a year. He won all of them. He was almost here around Al-Anbar, which is currently in Iraq. At the same time, there were some Muslim leaders who went into what was the Byzantine Empire. This was not his territory. He was working more with the Persians. There were 4 small armies. Each one is about 10,000 soldiers that Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu sent into the Byzantine land. Initially, they advanced easily, and this was kind of somewhat a mistake that they've done, which he was aware of. They went deep in the land, and surprisingly, after they got deep, the Byzantines, they concentrated a large army behind them. So basically, they trapped them. And those armies had to fight an army who was very large from the Byzantine army. They sent a letter to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu asking for reinforcement. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr said his very, very famous statement, وَاللَّهِ لَأَشْفِيَنَّ وَسَاوِسَ الرُّومِ بِخَالِدٍ. Or another statement, وَاللَّهِ لَأَشْغِلَنَّ الرُّومَ عَنْ وَسَاوِسِ الشَّيْطَانِ بِخَالِدٍ. I will keep the Byzantines busy or preoccupied from listening to the shaitan's whispers with Khalid. I'll keep them busy with Khalid. So he sent a message. He wanted reinforcement. He sent a message to Khalid ibn al-Walid, go and help the Muslim armies in what is now currently basically Jordan, Palestine, and Syria, and Lebanon. The Levant, basically, that's referred to Bilad Sham. And Khalid al-Walid was in the middle of Iraq, and if you're going to go to where it is south of Syria and Jordan, there are 2 ways. You would either go really south, go back into Arabia, and turn up here. That would be a safe route, but it takes very long. Or you have to go north, follow the Euphrates. That will be a shorter route to get here, but it's very dangerous because you have to cross a lot within the Byzantine land. So 2 choices are not ideal. He came up with a 3rd choice, and this is also one of the most famous achievements that he has done. And actually, history has never reported anyone ever, and I mean it ever, before or after Khalid ibn al-Walid, as an army to do that. He crossed the Syrian desert, 3 days walking in the desert, or not walking, on horses of course, from the Euphrates all the way to southern Syria. That route was absolutely off the chart for the Byzantines because no one's going to do that. So they had a lot of guards up there and south here, but not in the middle. And this is the route that he basically followed. His plan was, he tried to plan it strategically that, you know, he got 300 soldiers. So as far as number of soldiers, it wasn't adding much to the Muslim army, but it was the person, the general himself, who's going to lead. What do they need in their journey? Well, obviously they need transportation, so they need horses or camels, and they need logistics as far as, you know, food and drink. They have to carry it, and they need fuel for their transportation. This is the problem. You know, the horses and the camels also need to drink and eat. So how do you solve it? And he solved it in this way. He took with him 300 soldiers and 300 horses, but he took with him also camels. The advantage of the camels was that every day he will slaughter a lot of these camels. Well, actually, before they set off, for 3 days, those camels, they wrapped their mouths so they cannot eat or drink at all. So they became very thirsty. And on the day that the Muslim army left, they were allowed to drink a lot of water. And the thinking was that, you know, the stomach of the camel is really big, so it's gonna, you know, contain a lot of water. Now that water is really, no one can drink it, but at least the water that the soldiers will carry with them, they will drink it, and their horses will drink from that water in the stomach of the camels. So every day they will slaughter a lot of camels, they eat the meat, and the horses will drink the water from the stomach of the camel. It worked. Somehow they managed with a lot of effort. They arrived here, and it was a total surprise that they came. As I said, the number is small, but they joined the Muslim armies actually, and I don't know if we have it here, in the Battle of Ajnadin, where it should be somewhere here, almost. It doesn't say. But the Battle of Ajnadin sometimes is confused with the Battle of Al-Yarmouk. This is the battle, actually, this one, and not Al-Yarmouk. This is the one during which Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid received the letter that he had to step down, being the supreme general of the Muslim army. We always think that's in the Battle of Yarmouk. It's actually in Ajnadin. When Abu Bakr asked him to go to help the Muslim army, he asked him to go there, and he will be the supreme general for all the 4 small armies. The battle started, but Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu had died just a few days after he sent the letter, and Umar ibn Khattab has become the new Khalifa. Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he had absolutely no personal problem with Khalid ibn al-Walid, although actually the two are cousins, by the way. However, he had a concern that Muslims started to think that if Khalid is with us, we're going to win. If he's not with us, he's going to lose. And see now, Abu Bakr is doing what? You know, when the Muslim army is in trouble, okay, get Khalid. If Khalid gets there, we're going to win. So he was worried that the reliance in victory is changing from the fact that we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only to rely on people, on their qualifications and on their, you know, intelligence and stuff. So he wanted to prove to the Muslims that with or without Khalid, you can still achieve victory. So that's why he wanted Khalid to step down.